All right, welcome everybody. This is the 14th of January. This is our ORI FPGA meetup, and we talk about what we've done over the past week, what we have planned for the next week, if we have any roadblocks that we need help with, and if we need any resources that ORI can provide. And we'll let Aaron start us off. So Aaron, you have the floor.
Oh, thank you. I don't have much to report this week. I got sick. I was horizontal like Paul. Hope you're feeling better now, Paul.
I am.
Um, so I'm basically where I was last week. So I'm getting back into it, getting the OpenCPI to the updated version of the MSK that's changed over, been changing for the last couple of weeks. Yep, that's my update. It's very short this week.
I'm really glad you're feeling better. Very, very sorry about the illness. We have nothing but empathy. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, no, I also have relatively little to report. I gave a presentation about ORI and they gave a who, what, when, where, why, and a project lineup this earlier this week to Deep Space Exploration Society. Have another presentation coming up to ARRL. So spend a little bit of time on that. The main consumer of the time has been setting up a new desktop PC. This has been an involved process because the one I'm transitioning from is 14 years old and extremely modified. This turned out to be a big time consumer. So I also don't have a lot to report other than reading about Bayes' theorem, Bayes' detection, traditional detection in anticipation of uh, moving things forward a little bit on the iterative receiver front to investigate a possible sort of a parallel effort to do an iterative receiver for MSK. But the top priority is to get things working over the air in the lab. So right now, the status in the lab is the digital loopback through the FPGA works, and an RF loopback on the same SDR. So from the transmitting antenna conductively coupled back to the receiver, that is also working. When you try to go from one SDR to the other, we're getting clock recovery, but we're still getting errors for the data. So Matthew suspects a timing problem or some other issue. Maybe a math error in there somewhere, but probably timing. So we're still going to have to drill down and work on that. The two things that have been in the process of being added are a power detector circuit, and you can see in Slack some updates from the simulation environment on that. And what that does is it adds a second, deeper level further back into the circuit power measurement. We already have a received signal strength indicator from Lib IIO, but this is after AGC, after a lot of the other circuits. So it includes all of that. So what we want to do is look at the actual power levels deeper in. That's exciting. That's a good thing to add. It will also be a standalone submodule so that people want to adopt it and use it in their circuits and on their radios, they can. And the second big step forward is going from real modulation, real signal to complex IQ, so true complex signal. And this will change the spectral spectrum changes spectral efficiency. So a step forward. And there's also on Slack, there's some updates there. I don't believe that either of these are actually in the HDL code base on GitHub yet, but that is coming very soon. So that's what I know. And then to speak up for Ken Easton, he had a big deadline at work over the past week, so he does not have anything ready to deliver to us in terms of the receiver side on High Freya yet. But he had a set of what he thinks of as breakthroughs on figuring out how to make the FPGA development stations pay attention to him a little bit better and get that code stitched in to the reference design for the FPGA development board, but then wouldn't completely compile he was using Linux, switched to the no OS. We now have a third method that uses a much more reliance on just using Yocto. So Yocto layers are what is under the hood under Petalinux. And there's now guidance from Xilinx about going more with Yocto. So Balister's method seems to be getting some traction. It's actually fairly straightforward, so not too bad. So by next week, we should have some like screenshots and some more traction on that. So I'll be helping Ken finish that. And also investigating like the no OS method on both of the stations, both for Neptune and for Opulent Voice. And then I think Kent, sorry, Paul, you're next. You have the floor to give us any updates that you might have.
Okay. Not too much in the way of progress, but there's something upcoming that'll be interesting. The Unraid, which is the host operating system that we run on the server at the remote lab that runs all the virtual machines, has had a new major revision from 6 point something to 7.0.0. And this is something we want to take advantage of because the new version of the OS uses a new file system, the ZFS, which has strong support for snapshots. So we should be able to take advantage of that to give us checkpoints on the VMs. So if we ever screw up the VMs or they screw themselves up, we'll be able to step back easily to a known good configuration. Um, that's all wishful thinking for the moment. I have to figure out exactly what's involved and what the risks are and how to transition smoothly from one to the other. But sometime in the not too distant future, we'll have some downtime um, and switch over to Unraid 7 and hopefully get some benefits out of it. The whole backup strategy needs a rethink anyway. Um, needs to exist. Right now, it's pretty thin. Um, and I've just gone through a whole uh, rigmarole of updating my backup strategy for my personal stuff. So hopefully, some of those lessons will get applied to the remote lab and we'll be in more robust condition for upset situations. That won't require anybody to do anything except, accommodate for some downtime at some point in the future. Otherwise, that's about all that's new here.
Okay, I think now is a good time actually to go ahead with the upgrade. And I'll help spread the word to you can make an announcement on Slack, and then we can just say, okay, don't poke at it until it's done. And is there anything that we can do to help test it?
There will be, but I'm not in a position to guess what it is just yet.
Okay, very good. All right, any other comments or updates before we close for this meeting?
Not from here.
Nope, I'm good.
Okay, yeah, yeah. We'll see you all on Slack, and we'll do this again next week. Looking forward to seeing everybody. Thank you so much for your time and attention. It's deeply appreciated. Cannot do ambitious things without you. And we're I think we're coming up, anticipating things working over the air. That's a huge milestone, um, and that will be a really nice thing to talk about and spread around. All right, everybody. See you soon.
See you later. Take care.